Hello, welcome back to my channel. I'm glad to have you back. This video has a lot of dark themes, so I just want to preface this by saying that if you're easily triggered, I'd suggest that you click off and also don't watch it at night. Other than that, I think you guys are going to like today's video, so let's get on with it. A lot of the fairy tales or children's tales that we've all grown up loving have really dark origins to them, and today I'm going to talk about 5 of them. Let's start with Cinderella. So we're all aware of what the Disney version of Cinderella looks like, but in the original Brothers Grimm version, the slippers were not made out of glass. They were made out of squirrel fur. When the Grand Duke goes in search of the mysterious girl as per the Prince Charming's order, first of all, do you even have a name? And are you that full of yourself? Prince Charming? Really? So anyway, when the news that no women were fitting into those shoes spread across town, Cinderella's stepsisters chopped off parts of their feet. One cut off her toes and the other cut off a large chunk of her heel. And this was all a desperate attempt to just fit into those shoes. I mean, why? So on the day of Prince Charming and Cinderella's wedding, the doves of the sky literally gouged both the stepsisters' eyes out as punishment for bullying Cinderella. Next, let's talk about the Frog Prince, also known as The Princess and the Frog. We've all read the books and watched the movie The Princess and the Frog, where the idea is that the princess has to kiss the Frog Prince on the mouth in order for him to turn back into a human. But in the Brothers Grimm version, the princess literally picks up the frog and chucks him into a wall in order for him to turn back into a prince. And in other folklore versions, the princess must chop off the head of the frog in order for him to turn back into a prince, which makes absolutely no sense. Now let's talk about Rapunzel. So we've all read the version where an evil witch pretends to care for Rapunzel, acts as her mother, keeps her trapped in a tower, and uses her long hair to get in and out of the tower whenever she pleases. But in the original Brothers Grimm version, once the evil witch finds out that the prince has been visiting Rapunzel, she chops off her hair and banishes her to the wilderness. The prince was unaware of this, so when he comes back to the tower and tries to climb up her hair, as per usual, he finds the evil witch on the other end, who obviously tricked him. She then pushes him off the tower into thorn bushes below, which interrupt his fall but stab his eyes out, rendering him blind. He then wanders all over the world as a blind, homeless man in search of Rapunzel. He eventually does stumble upon her, but now she's a mother of twins. She sees the prince in his miserable and helpless state and cannot help but embrace him and cry. One of her teardrops fall into his eye, which is what ends up bringing back his vision. I don't know about you, but that's way too sad and dark to have to go through just to be with the one you love. Let's now talk about The Little Mermaid. Again, we all know the story where Ariel the mermaid has to give off her voice to the sea witch Ursula in order to get some legs. However, in the original story written by a Danish writer named Hans Christian Andersen, the sea witch asks Ariel to chop off her tongue. Also, once she does get her legs, she's not able to casually walk at all. Instead, every time she tries to use them, she feels an excruciating amount of pain. Now, there's a catch in the spell that gives her those legs, and that is that if the prince does not end up marrying her, she will die, fall into the sea, and turn into foam, which is supposedly how all mermaids die, apparently. And of course, unfortunately, the prince ends up falling in love and marrying someone else, which results in Ariel dying. Before her death, though, Ariel's sisters made one last attempt and captured the prince because, according to stories, letting his blood flow to the mermaid's feet will regenerate her tail so she could go back to living her life. But being someone with a heart of gold, Ariel lets the prince go because she did not want to see him get murdered and ends up dying. So basically, she sacrificed herself for this guy who led her on and gave her false hopes. Great. Lastly, Let's talk about Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. I always hated the name though, like, who do you think you are, woman? We all know the fabricated Oscar-winning Disney movie from the 50s, and we will compare the movie with the original story. Alright, get this. In the original version, the evil queen is Snow White's real mother, not her stepmother. In the movie, she asks the huntsman, who is so in love with her, to bring back Snow White's heart so that she could be at peace, knowing that once again, she's the most beautiful person of the earth. Now, in the original version, she asks the huntsman to bring back her lungs and liver so she can feast on them for supper. I mean, dude, that's your daughter. In the movie, Snow White is allegedly 14 years old. But in the original story, she's 7. 7. I mean, being 14 is already too young, but she's not even close to puberty at 7. In the movie, the prince must kiss Snow White's corpse to resurrect her. Which, where's the consent? In the original version though, the prince and his servants planned to carry her deceased body back to the palace where they could enjoy her later. It just so happens that while lying lifeless on the horse on the way back to the palace, a bump in the road kind of jolts her back to her senses by dislodging that piece of fatal apple from her throat. Lastly, we were always under the impression that even though Snow White was put through so much, she was still loving and caring towards other creatures and never had any malicious intents, right? Now, the movie ends with Prince Charming and Snow White getting married. Again with the Prince Charming, but the original story, no, it doesn't end there. Snow White, as a form of revenge, which is totally unlike her Disney version by the way, she invites the evil queen to her wedding, and as she shows up, Snow White forces her to wear burning hot iron boots and dance till she drops dead. I mean, okay girl, damn girl, hey! Before you guys leave, I want to give you a bonus feature. There is a Mandela effect surrounding that famous phrase or question that the evil queen keeps asking her mirror. You might remember it as mirror, mirror on the wall, right? But guess what? That's not how it actually is. The actual line is magic mirror on the wall.
Oh no, my queen.
Magic mirror on the wall, who is the fairest one of all?
And yet somehow we all remember it as mirror, mirror on the wall. All of us. That's Mandela effect for you guys. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video because I really like talking about dark stuff. If you guys want more videos like this, please let me know. I would love to do them. Very few people watch the whole video, so if you watched this far, comment magic mirror. Like this video if you liked it, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye!